So there's no doubt that the NPA has been largely eviscerated over the past decade or so, that it's been damaged, it was captured, factionalized. How worried are you about the state of the NPA and its work?
Yeah, no, we are worried, but we believe the challenges they have are not insurmountable, and we are happy that the current head of the NPA is beginning to work to rebuild some of the building blocks which will enable the NPA to function. From the department, we're giving them all the support that they need. The aspirant prosecutor program, they are restarting it, although they are starting with a few number of people, 90, that they have appointed, but it's a start. We're also looking at the fact that their budget also, in terms of them appointing some of the vacancies, has been cut a bit. So we're also looking at giving them that support, and already we've found some 37 million which we will be able to help them to before the next medium-term budget framework.
And
so we want to see
37 million going to prosecutors?
To the NPA.
To pay for additional prosecutors?
For them to be able to appoint some of the posts, because they need human resource to be able to do their job.
Are you aware of any blockages that they're experiencing? We've heard some rumbling about blockages, appointments, not being able to get things done. Are you aware of any problems that they're facing?
No, any challenges that they faced, we're giving them support. We're creating an enabling environment for the NPA to function without fear, favor, or prejudice. Obviously, issues of the budget, unfortunately, some of them are beyond our handling, because their budgetary needs are huge, and the fiscus is constrained. We're just able to do with what we can be able to do.
In the past, an issue between the NDPP and the Justice Minister has been around who's the accounting officer, the independence of the NDPP. It was something that came up with the Jinwala inquiry, for example, with Bridget Mabandla and Vusi Bokoli, and then Menzi Simelane has also spoken about it in the past. What is your view on the independence of the NPA and your oversight as Justice Minister? Do you believe that the NDPP is completely independent of you, or where is the line?
The independence of the NPA is not a matter of debate. It's not in question. The Constitution is clear. They've got original powers from the Constitution. So it's not something we can debate. Maybe you can speak about the issue of accountability in Parliament and so forth, but that does not affect the NPA in terms of decisions, in terms of their prosecutorial mandate as defined by the NPA Act. They have to do so without fear, favor, or prejudice. And I think the President has also said that on many occasions. The Act is clear, the Constitution is clear. What is our role is to create framework, which we've done through the Constitution, through the NPA Act, and through various other instruments, and through ensuring that they've got a budget that enables them to function, which may not be enough as due to the reasons I've explained prior, but it's important that the environment is created for them to function, which we're doing.
So you're not going to call up Advocate Batoy and say, that guy's off limits, you can't prosecute that one?
Even if I do, there's no law that says I can instruct Advocate Batoy on matters of prosecution. The NPA Act is clear. Who has got the final say as to who must be prosecuted or not prosecuted. And the Constitution says this must be done without fear, favor, or prejudice. If I do that, it will be political interference.
So we know that justice not only needs to be done, it needs to be seen to be done. And there's a great hunger amongst society in South Africa to see state capture cases being prosecuted. It's taking a long time, but we know we need to give them space. Do you feel that it would improve public confidence in the NPA if we saw some prosecutions?
Yeah, and that, I think, answers your first question. Because if I put pressure on the NPA to start arresting people, it will be political interference. They need to be guided by the evidence before them and then decide whether they want to prosecute or not to prosecute. If I say you must go and deal with these matters at the state capture, it might also be self-defeating for us, because in the next appearance, the person is going to say, no, I'm not arrested on the basis of evidence before the NPA. I'm arrested because the NPA has been put under pressure by the minister. So the NPA must look at the evidence before them. I've heard even the chairperson of the Zondo Commission saying there is nothing that stops any law enforcement agency from taking the evidence that has come before the commission and use it for whatever purpose that the law allows them to do. But obviously from our perspective, and it's clear, we want to see the Zondo Commission having a life of its own, doing its job, finishing its job without any interference, and then making recommendations to the president. But that does not mean that all the law enforcement agencies, whom and when they see evidence which they believe is enough for them to do their job, must not do it.
And you're confident that the NPA and the investigating directorate on state capture cases are doing their work and that they are doing it at their pace?
Yeah, obviously you will have seen, and I'm happy you are quoting them. They are still rebuilding, they are still reappointing in that unit, they are appointing people. I think when they are ready, they will be able to tell the nation where they are and how far they are. But obviously from our side is to create an environment which must enable them to do their job, which I've already said we are doing, including the issue of the budget.
One of the comments has been that perhaps they should have investigating capacity, like the old Scorpions type setup. That is obviously ANC policy that led to the removal of the DSO, the Directorate of Special Operations. Do you have a view on that at all?
I mean, the Special Investigating Unit, it's promulgated, so it will be able to look at the evidence from the state capture inquiry and make a recommendation.
But it still relies on the Hawks, though, for that investigating capacity.
No, they are building on their own. They are relying on the Hawks now because they are still appointing, but that promulgation enables them to do their job. But also there's an SIU.
And the SIU tribunal that I also wanted to ask you about. Yeah,
the SIU is also able to help with some of the investigations. The tribunal, we intend that it needs to start operating as quickly as possible. The president has set as a date that it must be operational in the next 3 months. So it means we need to promulgate regulations. We need to see it starting. It will operate from Bisons. It has already appointed a head of the tribunal and some people for the tribunal. It will be ready to function and follow the money that might have been taken out illegally.
The president has said three months. Is that your timeline? Are you?
Yes.
And what do you hope that tribunal achieves?
It will be able to follow the money that has been stolen from all the state-owned entities from across the country. It must be able to, because remember what affects the Special Investigation Unit now is that they have to queue in the normal court roll, where it can take years for them to resolve some of the civil disputes. So if it goes to the tribunal, it expedites the process. It also means that the money can be followed as quickly as possible and be brought back to the fiscus.